Luffy just yeets Kizaru here towards the ocean, which totally makes sense, right? Like, this should happen more often in the series. I mean, it's kind of difficult to just throw Kizaru into the ocean because his fruit is so busted. As we'll see, he just Yasakani's like back into Egghead before touching the ocean. But like, if that was somebody else who didn't have like a busted type of fruit like that, even if they're like really powerful, they're done. And it just doesn't really come up that much in the series, which you just think it would, since, you know, devil fruits are weak against water, but hardly anyone ever tries to use water to their advantage here. But I guess it was just more prevalent pre-time skip before hockey and all that stuff. Also, Brook is saying that like this is the first time that he's seen Gear 5 from Luffy, and it's like, why don't you just show him, you know, just when they're chilling on the ship on the way to Egghead? I don't know how much time passed between them leaving Wano and coming to Egghead, but it wasn't very long. Wow, so this is a pretty incredible sequence, I must say. As far as I remember, this doesn't happen at all in chapter 1093, which this episode is adapting. Like, this is a huge glow up for Bonney. I mean, this is just a huge glow up for the manga in general. This is like Demon Slayer heavy lifting here, which I guess is just the norm for battle manga adaptations nowadays. Also, pretty cool little thing that Bonney does here by touching the sword and aging it, and then that allows her to like get through it. All right, now we're coming to Zoro versus Lucci. This is awakened Lucci. We already saw him go against Luffy earlier in this arc, but taking on Zoro is more his speed because he was completely outmatched by Luffy. All right, Zoro igniting his Foxfire style on his swords, which he learned from Kinemon back in Wano. It looks really cool in the anime. If I sound surprised here, it's because, I guess surprisingly, I don't really watch the One Piece anime like that. I'm always stuck in manga land, always covering the manga and the spoilers and the chapters and everything, that I just don't watch the anime, you know, because it's like way behind. It's like 50 chapters behind at this point. But man, you guys are eating pretty good over here in anime land. All right, so pretty good competitive fight here. I wonder what anime onlys think of this in terms of like how strong Zoro is compared to Lucci, because it seems like they should be around this level at this point. I'm not saying that one is stronger than the other. Actually, never mind. I will say that Zoro is stronger than Lucci, and I'm not trying to like spoil anything. Even before coming into this fight, I would have said that for sure. Zoro is stronger than Lucci, but Lucci isn't like a weakling. He's pretty powerful in his own right. But what I mean is this is more applicable of a fight than Lucci versus Luffy. I mean, in the manga, it was portrayed as being competitive, and as we see in the anime, it is as well. I like how Luffy's like, hey, you want some help? Which, realistically, they could have just ended it right there, but, you know, we can't steal Zoro's thunder. All right, some Conqueror Haki Lightning coming from Zoro here. Zoro does have Conqueror's Haki. It's not going to be said in the anime, it's not going to be said in the manga. When is it said in like his Beaver card? Or it's said in some, it was said in Can't Fear Your Own World, okay, that Zoro has Conqueror's Haki. All right, coming back to Kizaru versus Luffy, and this is where the episode just gets insane. Like, this sequence is so well done. Luffy just being goofy as usual. This is what Gear 5 is just going to be from now on, but Kizaru using his fruit to the utmost of its ability, aside from him just showing us what his awakening is, if he even is awakened. I assume all the admirals have awakened fruits at this point. I mean, it's heavily implied that Aki Inu and Kuzan do because of Punk Hazard, although that hasn't been confirmed yet, but I guess Kizaru kind of has to have his awakening too, although he doesn't use it. Spoiler, Kizaru doesn't use his fruit awakening in this fight, or ever. Oh, interesting. When Luffy does this stomp, he has like hockey on his foot in the manga, but in the anime, they don't show that for some reason. I guess it doesn't matter. All right, Luffy getting a giant again and just smacking Kizaru away. I guess that's one way to deal with him. Also, Luffy, when he gets giant in his Gear 5 form, this has to be like a foreshadowing or a hint as to what either Joy Boy or Nika was. One of them was like a giant or giant in some way. When I say Nika, I mean like the original Nika, because at this point in the manga, it seems like he might have been a real person. at one point, maybe 3,000 years ago or something. I might be going too deep into the lore for the anime onlys at this point, but just some food for thought in case you were curious about that stuff. Like what Sun God Nika is, it's still not made clear, but yeah, Kizaru multiplying himself. We haven't seen him do this before with his fruit ability. I mean, we've hardly seen Kizaru fight that much in the actual series. I mean, he fights a little bit in film Z. We've seen the sword before. He used that back in Sabaody, but multiplying himself, very cool. It doesn't really seem to matter against Luffy because he's so overpowered at this point. I mean, this isn't even like the tip of the iceberg for what Luffy is going to do later on in this arc in Gear 5. All right, so Kizaru is like skipping out of the battle here real quick and grabbing Usopp by the lips. Like this does happen in the manga, but like it's so much funnier in the anime. And Usopp continuing to be useless here. Sorry to all the big Usopp fans out there. So Kizaru trying to kill Vegapunk here with a quick laser. Is this where Luffy eats it? I'm pretty sure he ate it in the manga. Does he eat it here too? Yeah, he eats the laser. Like, that's insane. And we got a nice butt shot of Lilith, of course, because why not? I mean, that's large in part what her character ultimately is. Is that too... Am I not allowed to say that? All right, Luffy saving them by eating the freaking laser from Kizaru here. So coming to the very end of the episode, we're seeing Saturn of the Gorosei. He's being teased here because he did come with Kizaru on the marine ship that arrived at Egghead here. So it's like, what is he gonna do? What's gonna happen? Well, not gonna spoil anything, of course, but he's here for a specific reason. Was it revealed like the hierarchy of who can command the pacifistas yet? I think it was, right? It was like Vegapunk and then the Gorosei are above him. So maybe he's here to command the pacifistas since they just went rogue in this episode. But he's gonna have some serious hype and aura moments coming up next. That's all I'm gonna say. Like his entrance, I'll say, in this arc, which is gonna be the next episode, I guess, is gonna go viral for sure because this is like a big deal. Gorosei have been like the big bads of the series for 20 years now, maybe even longer than that. When did the Gorosei first get revealed? Was it after Alabasta, I think? Oh yeah, it was actually after Jaya was over, or it was right after Luffy beats Bellamy. Chapter 233, they're revealed for the first time, and that was in 2002. Holy crap, that was 23 years ago. So this is the most, I guess at this point, we've seen the Gorosei do in 23 years. I think this is the first time we've seen them leave that room in Marriage Joie in 23 years. So yeah, get ready for this. It's going to be wild. Definitely going to have to react to next week's episode. So look out for that. If you like this one, guys, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.